I was very hesitant to do it. I don't think Randy doesn't know this until he sees this video. So I have a client named Randy Jaffe who is the Nissan and Datsun connoisseur. He knows everyone, everything, every trim package, every option, every model, even down to what engineer did what plant did what. The guy is the encyclopedia when it comes to Nissan and Datsun. He has a collection of historic Nissan and Datsuns. The one that everybody knows is the officially licensed BRE 240Z. Randy brought me a helmet that looked like John Morton's original Bell helmet. It was white. And all Randy had was pictures of John Morton's original helmet. That's all he had. And he goes, I need this helmet to look like these pictures. I didn't have measurements. I had very little to reference to go off of. Because normally I can look at a picture, and when somebody wants me to duplicate a livery, I can, for example, when we were trying to figure out the length of letters and everything, Randy and I were going back and forth, and so I ended up taking the measurement of the corner light on the fender, corner to corner, then that's how big it was on the picture. I took that measurement and then measured the corner light in person and took that difference and figured out how long and the length and height of all these letters. Kind of went back and forth with Randy. And of course, Randy always had final say. He was like, I need this helmet to look like these pictures. So that's all I had to go on. So I tried to reference what I could. And then a guy that was working with me at the time, Gary, and I started putting something together. Practice on a couple pieces of paper. I literally painted out Morton on the helmet. And then about 4 years later, John Morton gave Randy that helmet. And Randy put the two of them together and sent me a picture and just said, dude. And that's as close can get. I mean, luck had a lot to do with it, more so than skill. But from what I remember, I did the helmet first. And then a couple weeks later, Randy was like, I want to hand paint all the letters on the car, on the BRE. And I was like, what? And he's like, hand paint them. And I said, all right. So I started digging and doing some research, because when you look at how all these race cars were hand painted before, it was just a guy walking through the pits, had a paintbrush, and would go in, lay out some lines, and start pinstriping. And that's oversimplifying it, because this is a huge thing, a huge art thing. And steady hands is only one aspect of it. So I started watching and watching old videos, looking up old pictures, and started referencing as much as I could. I was very hesitant to do it. I don't think Randy doesn't know this until he sees this video. I was like, this is crazy. I'm not going to be able to do this. He's going to nitpick this to death. I am not going to be able to pull this off. When Randy had asked me to hand paint this, the letters, the car already had full vinyl decals on it. So everything I was supposed to hand paint was already done in vinyl letters. I gave him a price, and he was like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, well, now we got to do it. So I practiced with a couple things. I knew what Randy was wanting after I'd been working with him for a while. So I bordered everything just so I could make sure my line was crisp enough to be correct, but then also for Randy's expectation. So I bordered everything in fine line tape, roughly. So then I knew about where I'd want to be. And then I just started. I just took that pinstripe, that horsehair pinstripe, and just started going right down it. And I started going down. Then I had a long stick, and I took like a microfiber or something and balled it up and held it up. And then as I was doing, because I'm right-handed, I would hold that stick so I could keep pressure on my hand and do what I needed to do with the stick and get everything exactly the way it was supposed to be. And that's how you can pivot it that way. I did the hood and the doors first, and then all the John Morton John Morton, national champion in the years. I did all those first, and then I had him come by, and he's like, man, this is awesome. He goes, you can see the brush strokes, and that was one of the ones like, how much of this do you want to see? How much are we trying to not see? What's the end goal? I knew what the verbiage was, but a customer's mind's eye isn't the same as my mind's eye. I see things completely different as a customer does. So doing something like that on such an expensive car is, all right, how are we going to do this? So he saw it and he's like, it's dead on. He goes, I love it. We ended up doing all the others. So the Datsun on the fenders, even the BRE on the front lip, the BRE on the front fenders, everything on that car except for like a Champion logo for Champion spark plugs. Like he sourced those to be as authentic to the originals because he's still good friends with Peter Brock and John Morton. John Morton's still driving, still racing. He's raced that car in the Historics, and that car actually got wrecked last year at the Historics. So it got hit by another driver, and it rolled and smashed the roof and everything. Z-Car Garage out in California is doing all the work on it, and they had a painter come in and they were like, we need to redo all the hand painting, and he's like, I can't do that. So I don't know who's doing it now, but that's another car that we did, and now I've got a really great toy model car of that one. So I have a collection now of different cars that we did, from Lee's RWB to the Hot Wheels RWB to the Datsun. I have a collection of cars now. I went to Pebble Beach, gosh, I think this was 4 years ago now, and I think John Morton was there, Peter Brock was there, and I didn't really think anything of it. I had never been to Pebble Beach. I was staying at home working, and I always knew, Randy has a very specific expectation and taste. And so it was not anything I was thinking of. And then he sends me a picture of him standing in front of the car, and he's like, I got first place. And I was like, what? And he's like, I got first place. There was something about it where they said it was too good. They were like, it's almost too good. Because it was in the motorsports class or division, and I forget who all he was up against there, but at another event, he beat out Adam Carolla's 510, which is really cool. I never ever thought something like that would happen.
Dream Car Exchange is our sponsor for the VINwiki channel this month, and we are having a VINwiki Dream Car Exchange car flipping contest. It is live now on their site. We've got 10 cars, 10 players, and 10 charities that the profits go to. So we're going to find out who the best car flipper of VINwiki is, and you guys are going to get to own some amazing cars. So head on over to dreamcarexchange.com, register to bid early, bid often, and win your dream car at Dream Car Exchange.